break into this private banquet center, everything was all.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all for coming tonight. It's October 5th already. Wow, September just flew by, didn't it?
Somebody's birthday.
We need a motion to sign the warrants. Now, I just wanted to say, in that warrant, I went ahead and, on a separate warrant, proposed the purchase
You'll be upset.
so that we could pull it out if you didn't agree. Just to let you know that's part of it.
Don't worry about it, just call me
So do
back.
I have a motion to sign
I'll
the
go.
warrant?
Yeah, I did.
Rachel?
Yeah.
All in favor?
No, do we have a second?
Second?
I did.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
in favor? Okay. Okay, do we have one to sign? I gotta get a smartphone so I can take pictures.
I'd be happy with a dumb phone.
But I didn't want to wait 2 weeks, there was people fighting for it. Well, there we go. Approve of the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes? I actually did read the minutes, all of them, and there was just one correction. And when we get to committee updates, there's a different time for the shellfish. And I think there's a different time for the economic development too. She changed that as well. That's on the 13th, because for some reason there was something going on the 12th. And then shellfish is on the 11th, because October 10th is the, I'll remind you when we get to that. Okay.
And we would like to have a recycling meeting on Monday despite the holiday.
Okay.
Because we've missed quite a bit of month. And hopefully somebody from the ambulance might be able to let us in.
I'll have to let you in. I can come in and let you in. I'm gonna be working, so just call me.
Marvelous, marvelous.
Yes, Columbus Day, I shall be working. So do I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Oh, the Public Works Garage. Well, the foundation cement slab was finally poured, and it went off just fantastic. I think it was 11 trucks, and the whole thing was poured in one pour, and a steady pool came up and watched the pour, and we should have the results of the first cement break tomorrow. And if it comes in anywhere near 4,000 PSI, then we should be able to go ahead and build the building on Monday, because there isn't any heavy trucks going on there, just a little light equipment lifting things.
Very exciting.
Yep, very excited about that. And we're hoping that the week of October 25th, they'll be inside working with all the exterior walls done. John? Brownfield?
Brownfield. Had a conversation today with Lyle Francis from Quarter Creek, and my conversation is basically, where are you guys? They talked to me and they expected him here to at least begin some of the basic work on Monday. He informed me that they had some issues. They're finishing up their project in Eastport, and they wanted to get that complete. That's another brownfield grant as well. They wanted to get everything done instead of having two crews, two places. Their plans right now are to finish up in Eastport and move the crew to Lubec. They expect to be done in Eastport by this week. They expect to be in Lubec as early as Monday, installing the silt fence and working on the access road down to the Columbian site. Much of the big equipment they're expecting to arrive in the middle of next week, bringing in as many as 3 excavators to really get started. The building mover, Andy LeClaire, I was told is expected to be on the site either Monday or Tuesday. He'll be looking at the historical society and making plans as to how they're going to relocate it. And engineer Oscar Emerson is going to be on site possibly this weekend for the final layout. Where's the building going to go? Trying to situate the new location for the foundation. So, you know, they do plan on going full speed ahead.
I noticed that the bell has been removed from the historical
I-
society. Are they going to do that with a lot of things from the inside for
Well,
safety's sake?
I talked to Barb, and her, Cecil, and Mike Scrivani spent the week moving the bell, moving the exhibits of the seawater to gold, and everything that was down back along the fence. I mean, they wanted all that out, and I believe
Yeah.
Barb's got that stored for safekeeping.
Sure.
And once the project is done, then they're gonna bring it back and relocate
And
it.
they have to move everything out of the, when you move a building, don't you have to move pretty much anything
Yeah,
that's
That-
movable?
yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
boat, you know?
Well, you have to make sure it's stable, and it's not if it's gonna be moving.
Barb had some concerns, and, you know, that's why when I was talking to Lyle today, I really emphasized that Andy needs to sit down with Barb and go through the historical society and really look at what needs to be put on the floor, what needs to be, put someplace for safekeeping, because,
Yeah.
I mean, some of those treasures you just don't want.
No, you can't
Absolutely,
wait, you can't,
absolutely. Yeah, I
yeah.
imagine they all have to be batched down or whatever, hatched down, or what is that word?
Batten down the hatch.
Batten down the hat, I knew
Yeah.
there was a, batten down the hatch, that's right. Yeah, thank you. Sounds like it. Okay, very good, sounds like you're on top of that. Okay, new business, Wanda Matthews discusses the fall festival.
Okay. Okay.
Come right up and tell us.
First of all, we'd like to thank the board so much for giving us some starter money, and, which has helped enormously. We do have 5 members that are gonna be on the committee, and I just don't know where 2 of them are tonight. They were gonna be up here, Bobby, Queenie Bobby, and Shirley. And Shirley's gonna be chair and treasurer because she's here in town. And, but anyway, we've got a good idea about what we're gonna do, and we're going to have it down at the school when the playground has there. They have their craft fair and they have a good turnout for that. And Kathy Arrington, who's gonna be on the committee too, we can use the school, the high school, which is good too. And one thing we're wondering is if we can decorate still downtown. We got corn stalks and cat o' nine tails, and John felt that we should ask the board before we go downtown and start decorating.
Decorate all you want, honey.
And some of the things we're gonna do though, we're gonna go down and get the bags for the 3-legged race, the kids love that. Have a costume parade, we're gonna do a pumpkin roll, maybe pumpkin pie contest, and apple bobbing, and, but anyway, we
That sounds
really.
great. You're gonna do the donut hanging? on
Yes,
the
and the
string?
donut hanging.
Yeah, I gotta
because-
see that, I love that.
But Nick, this week, I hope, we're supposed to meet tonight after the meeting, but I'm hoping that we can get you a tentative schedule about what it's gonna be. And thank you all so much for the money.
I'm thinking if you did an adult version of that and they all had to pay $1 to enter, I would love to watch that.
Yes, well,
I think we
good.
should have an
I
adult
do it.
donut thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think that would be fun?
Look, the first time I
I
saw
was-
that,
You and I have a very
I just-
different idea
I
of
just
fun.
cracked up.
Oh,
They
no.
couldn't move their
It's
hands
really
and
fun
they
to
were
watch
trying-
somebody eat a donut on a
There
There you go,
string.
this is my first
Oh,
Dunkin'
yeah.
Donut
We-
day.
Yeah,
oh,
he does
sure,
so-
I
he's
can-
already-
money on me.
Okay, yeah, I'll bob for a donut, I'll
Okay,
do
I
a
like it.
donut thing. You should have the select board do it. Yeah,
I'll
that
do
would
it.
be fun. Oh, come on, Rachel.
Just one, not the sugar coated, just
right.
the plain.
Yeah, the sugar coating gets all over you. It's really
But thank
bad.
you guys so much, and we will bring up the schedule, and we do have, I feel we have enough people to carry through with everything,
Good.
so,
Good.
thank you guys so
Thank you
much.
guys for stepping up.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
there's quite a few of us, really.
That's
Do you
good.
think any of
That's
the little
good.
kids will like those little ice pops that are in the plastic, or is it too cold? Because I've got about 100 of them in my freezer.
They love them.
Okay, good.
They don't know, well, we're hoping that we're gonna be inside for a lot of it,
Okay, so I'm
Carol.
gonna give
Yeah.
you those, I
Oh,
don't know
we'll
what to do
love
with
that.
them.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're gonna need to vote to have a separate festival, because previously
Oh,
we
yes,
voted to
right.
combine it.
We need a motion to uncombine the Pirates Invasion to the Fall Festival and make it a separate entity
Oh, yeah,
again.
I would definitely vote that we separate these two
Provided she
festivals.
doesn't have to eat donuts.
Yes.
Drink.
Right,
A second.
or kiss a pirate.
Do I have a second? All in favor? All in favor? And now what else we need
Thank
to,
you,
let's
guys.
appoint Shirley at the same time.
Yes, yes.
So we need a motion to appoint Shirley, Fall Festival, on the Fall Festival Committee, and we might as well appoint Shirley for the Christmas parade at the same time.
Yeah.
Loved it,
Yeah.
loved it.
Make that
A
a
motion
motion.
for that?
So, yeah,
All in favor,
Motion
second?
for that.
yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, then you'll
Thank you,
tell
honey.
Shirley, right, to come up and sign her life away?
Yes,
All
yes,
right, then.
And Bobby too, no, Bobby? Yeah, Bobby.
yes.
Bobby Carroll.
Do you want to get a blank paper to appoint her
And
right now?
Kathy and Jolene
Yeah.
Schultz
This
too.
is
Yeah,
Shirley, that
yeah.
one's
Yeah,
Shirley.
the boat show.
Kathy Allen.
Yes.
I think. Okay. If you want Bobby, you're gonna have to give me another paper. It'll be almost over the fall festival, so.
Oh, okay.
Huh? No, you want me to get that one? Doesn't the bill office out? Are we waiting for Jim Bacchus?
Yeah, he said, we thought that it would, about 6:30, but obviously, we
Yeah, well, let's just go forward. We can, when he shows up, we'll be fine.
Yes,
No,
okay.
okay, so the North Lubec Road paving project is John, so we can go to, we appointed Shirley.
Yeah.
So we have, only one roofing bid, because we changed it, apparently the harbor board changed it to metal, and we have a couple, we have 3 sand bids. That's fantastic. Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you,
Thank
babe.
you.
Love ya.
God bless
So do
everybody
we
that does
officially,
that.
then unofficially, can we do this one while we step down the room?
What is that one? Committee policy, we can. We've already been through the committee policy, and so we want to
Yes.
make a motion to adopt the policy on committees and how they should be run. We've read it
Yeah.
over it in our
Yeah,
workshop.
I would move that we adopt that policy with the wording, exactly, yes.
Okay, second?
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay, so Rachel made the motion, and
Joanne seconded.
Joanne seconded it for the committee policy.
So the roof bid, we only have the one, right?
Well, you know, we couldn't get no one else to do it, so we don't know what that is. I mean, we had originally asked for like a shingle, but they wanted metal. We
And are
just
we
voted,
doing blue or red? Did we decide that?
Harbor Board has decided red, so that's
Oh.
really their decision.
Okay.
The policy?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I wasn't gonna say anything about that. We're gonna not go down that road. Was that on the agenda?
More or less, more or less.
Connor's gonna update us on the paving budget.
Yeah, I noticed this morning, Lane started moving equipment into place. They started working on it today. I did have a conversation with Rick yesterday, and one of the places that he wasn't able to get to in his original proposal was where they call Morton's Corner. I guess it's just down below Sonia Bailey's. It comes down and turns.
We passed that by the way while you
yes.
were going.
So to do the additional section, Roger Picard quoted us at the same rate as he had for the rest of the road, and it would be an additional 16,000. So I'd like to ask the board to approve that.
And you said that there was money in the funds for
There
paving,
is-
correct?
there is
Is
money.
that, there
There
It's
is
set
money.
aside money
because
for
it
the
seems
paving.
like a hefty amount, but I think if it needs to be done, it needs to be done, yeah.
If you spent $100,000 a year for the next 36 years, you'd get 1 mile. I mean, it would take us
It's amazing.
36
Yeah.
years.
It's amazing.
It's 100,000 for a mile, we have 36 miles of road,
What
it
are we
would take
paying
us
for-
36 years.
For what?
Right now, we're paying,
$1.95?
it's $73.15 a ton, and it's
What's the
about
cubic foot?
1,000 tons per mile.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out.
I'll be more appreciative when I drive down North Lubec Road, I'll tell you that much.
So is
I don't
this
even drive that.
16 out of the
Paving, it's a paving
fund,
fund.
the fund that we already have, or is this additional funds that we're looking
Right
to
now,
get?
we approved the project for about 109,000. This is gonna be 16 in addition to.
But where's the money coming from again?
The money is set aside under Europe and, road improvement.
Because every year we get 40-something thousand from the state, so there is money in that.
There is
And I believe that when we sold the property,
569 County Road.
the overage, which I think is gonna be hopefully, and I don't quote me on this, around 10,000, that can offset that, because that was
Right.
earmarked for paving.
Yeah.
Good,
So I think we're good on that.
yeah, okay,
Good.
good.
So we need a motion to allow the expended over.
You wanna do it? Yeah, I'll make that a motion.
Second,
All in favor? So this is to, go with the extra 16,000 for the paving in North Lubec Road,
Yes.
of which hopefully the property sale, how's that going? Do we get money from, do they, I mean,
The
was that
buyer-
right?
The buyer, yeah, the buyer
Before we went on.
acknowledged, he asked, about the name for the quitclaim deed, and he was gonna put the check in the mail. So he
Excellent,
plans on going
excellent,
forward.
excellent. Okay, so, now what we've been waiting for, the roofing bid. Hopefully it's not too much. It was nice that Dana was, what's this, roofing line? He was measuring today and hoping he could, what I understand for the metal, you can't just do it, it can't be done the 11th to the 15th, because it takes a week to have the metal cut from the factory. But then they're willing to work around the dock being taken out. I mean, because we have to take it out, and we're not gonna move it twice.
and you're taking it out, the 25th, is that?
No,
is that
we're
what I
taking
said?
ours out on the 17th to town.
Oh,
It's going out on the 17th. But the state dock's coming on the 25th.
25th, okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. This proposal is, okay, this proposal is to cover existing shingles. We remove the ridge cap and install 2 to 4 strappings as per your specs. Labor and materials $5,900. I happen to know that the shingles would be approximately 3,000 because we got a bid last year and we similar estimates this year. But this is forever, so that's going to be.
Who is this? Who is this?
This is Dane Avery. And then the other one says, if we remove all the existing roof materials, we would cover the total roof area with ice and water shield and follow your spec 7,200. I think, my understanding is mostly don't you just put it right on top of the existing roof, a metal roof?
You can, yes.
Anybody want to look at that? Let's look at the sand ones. Let's hope we have some good sand ones. I don't think we can take it just right now. What do you think of the 5,900? Think about it, get a second one.
Oh,
But my personal belief is it needs to go to the harbor board, because now that we're collecting funds, and billing for funds, like for the Shellfish Committee,
Yeah,
the Shellfish Conservation Committee gets all the money put in a separate fund now from the licensing. The harbor board, if they're getting the rent and the mooring fees and the hoist fees, they should probably have say
and they
over
voted on the
these.
color. I mean, come on.
That's
right?
probably
Why
right.
not?
So I'm just
I
wondering
don't,
if you
to
could,
me though, 6,900 is not an out of
59.
sight
69 is
59.
59,
fee.
59.
Oh, 59. Oh, please, cheap.
but it's a tiny little building.
Yeah.
I don't
It is-
see how you can do one.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, you'd have to get another
Well, the
bid,
pro-
but that
the
doesn't seem
pro-
like an
the-
outrageous bid to
And
me.
unfortunately, when you open it up, the other person knows how to, I mean, it's not fair to the person that had the sealed bid, because now they know all they gotta do is undercut it
Everybody
by,
knows what he's,
it's a
yeah.
public meeting, so
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
And, this,
You can accept or reject
this,
all
the
bids.
workmanship of this person is vetted. I mean, we know that
He's done work
that-
before,
yeah.
he's a veteran contractor.
Yeah, yeah.
I think really it needs to defer to a special, you need to get a hold of the harbor board tomorrow and I've already, you need to speak to Peter and Sean and everybody and see what they think.
I wouldn't wait forever though. I mean, you
No,
want to
you
get that done.
can't, no, we
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
The shingles can be done at the time frame they wanted to, but no one wanted shingles, and I can't really comment any further than
I
it's up
agree.
to the harbor board.
Just make sure the rivets are in tight, that's all.
Well, as long as it's not open in the snow, because then all that, you walk right by it, it would hit you in the
You
head.
know, I have a
The
metal
metal,
roof as
right?
well, and
You have
one of
those
the things
things?
I do from time to time is have someone who is much braver than I am get up on the roof and check the rivets to make sure that the wind, because the wind here is so hellacious.
Oh, right.
That
but it
you
knocks
don't
the
know
roof.
whether the rivets have started coming loose.
Sand.
So it's almost a preventative measure.
Okay, this is the sand bid, so we've left it as, we're gonna defer to the final decision by the harbor board if they want shingles
Yes,
or
that's
metal.
Before you open these three bids, what was our sand last?
10 and a half, wasn't it? $10.50, $10.50, wasn't it?
23.5.
I thought it was 10.
23.5. I think 10 was sold.
Oh. Oh, okay,
Is
so we
this
need
the
to know what it
sand
was last year.
That Tony was so astute about with
It
the size of the grain?
Yes.
I learned so much from him that time.
23,
No,
5,
13,
We're getting, I don't know what you're thinking about, I think it was 10.50.
I'll get a calculator.
Yeah, because this is $10.75, $10.75. I'm pretty sure it was 10.50 because it went up from 8 something to 10. Remember, we kind of went,
What is this?
and we only
a
had
ton?
one bid.
This is a ton?
Yours? Per yard.
Per
This is
yard.
per yard,
That's
so
what I meant, per yard. Oh, yeah, that's-
Okay, bid for 2,000, so remember we went 3,000 last year, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure King was 10.50, which was much higher than the year before, but we had one bid. North Star Construction, 10.75 per yard.
Okay, it was for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
Well, last year it was for 3,000, and it was bid, I'm telling you, it was 10.50, I remember.
But it was
And
up.
we asked for
considerably
3,000, it
from-
was up from like 8.95 or 8.75 or something.
So it's a total of 21.5.
I need to know what was bid per yard. It's 10.75 per yard. I know it was 10.50. Does anybody remember 10.50?
I don't,
Why don't we know? Why can't we tell you that? Okay, let's see, the Buy Us Company,
Mm-hmm.
$9.50 per yard. Thank you very much. Excellent.
That's by us.
Yeah, we never, this is fantastic that we have 3 bids this
Yeah.
year.
it's
Yeah. Really. And this is from H&S, and it is, oh, I'm trying to read it here. Okay, well, something in here that I'm not reading. Oh, here it is. He's hiding it, and look, he's got a little yellow thing there to make sure it wasn't opened.
This must be an interesting bid.
This is Danny Hall, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Our reputation must precede us. Okay, 12.74. So we got 12.74, and we've got 9.50 and 10.75. Well, let's see if there's any difference in anything that I can see. It says 2,000 yards of winter sand, and this one says 2,000 yards of winter sand, screen 3/8 of an inch. It says no,
That's the
Yeah, but
950?
that's the spec.
but that's what they said in the paper, it had to be?
Yeah.
Had to be, okay, so they said that then. Who would like to make a motion to go with the lowest bid?
I,
What?
I'm
pretty sure we paid $10.50
I
last
know,
year.
and I know, and I'll tell you something. I was very upset last year because of the fact that Bill and Teresa Ransdell did what they did for us that winter. They worked their butts off for us. They brought their machinery down, they helped us
During
out.
the bad
They
winter,
were
where
stuck
did
at the
before
bottom
last?
of Pearston's Hill for 6 hours one day.
They got paid.
Well, they didn't have to.
That's true.
They didn't have to come.
They didn't have to help us out.
And they've gotten the sand bid every
They didn't.
year, every year, every year, every year.
Well, they could have submitted a bid.
They did,
We did.
Which
they
one?
did. They were
North
25
Star.
cents, they were 25 cents higher.
The
That's
North Star is theirs.
This was last year I'm talking about. This was last year, and I
What
got
was it
out, I
this
was
year?
outbidded.
Oh,
But-
last year.
So this year, I wanna go with North Star.
And they're local.
They
Well,
have
it's a dollar,
property here.
it's a dollar $1.25
Yeah,
more.
that's right, and I'm
Wow.
just giving you my opinion. They've done a lot for this town, and they've really got it shoved up their butt, and I'm just saying, I think we should go with them, and that's just my opinion.
I don't know what to think of that because I.
We can we can accept and reject any or all bids, and if we feel that it's to our best interest, and I feel that it's to our best interest,
In dollars and cents, what does that come out to? What's 125 times two?
You got 19 for by us, 25 for North Star, and 25 for Great Chance.
no, H&S is way higher.
Yeah, well, that's out of the picture.
So what's the total on the other two? What's that?
It's $1.25.
The
Yeah,
difference is, $2,500.
Right.
It's not the difference.
Yes, there's a
Yeah.
difference.
It's the
Oh,
total.
it's a total,
When you add
it's
the
total,
$2,500 more.
If you
One's
did
19,000.
the 1075 or the 950, so
Are
you
you
look
sure
at,
950 times 2,000 is
so a buck and a
19,000?
quarter,
Yeah.
buck and a quarter
Mhm,
by 2,000.
mhm.
Yeah, that's 20,
So it's $2,500.
2,500 more.
Yeah.
I'm just one person.
I'm okay with North Star. I'm pretty okay with it. I don't think it's, you know, and they're local. I like giving local people jobs.
I'm low bid.
Yeah, I'm just having,
So we
I
may have to wait for
I
Tony.
understand your feeling,
Tony's very good at this.
but I just
isn't he?
wonder if the precedent will be that we're going to take a local bid, even if it means $2,500 more of taxpayers' dollars because it's local and the other one isn't local. I
I
don't know.
gave you my reason. And and
No, I respect your reason. I just think about it. When do we need to have a vote on that? When do we need to have a decision?
We did give them a timetable to have it done, I think, by November 4th. Our next meeting is the 19th.
Because if the proximity of this new low bidder isn't gonna be, and it's like, first of all, they didn't say anywhere where there was any, are they gonna abide by the specs?
Yeah.
Have you talked to them?
Everybody bid on the same set of specs, and they would be expected.
This proposal also includes the trucking and stacking of the 2,000 yards of winter sand as well as mixing in the salt.
Yes. That was in the specs.
If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at our office in the number above. Yeah, it's a hard one, I don't know. It's just that if it was close, it's just a lot of money, $2,500. And sometimes, I mean, yeah, last year, they didn't get the bid last year at all, the year before they did.
No, I think
And
they-
the last
they
3 years before that, they did. And then it was by
Who
25.
got the bid last year?
H&S got it last year, they tied last year, and then the board voted.
Tony, yeah. So this doesn't have to be decided on until the next meeting? I don't know
Well,
what
we're 2 and 2, so it doesn't matter anyway.
And this is firm. There's no play here.
It's a bid.
It's a bid.
up to you, Rachel.
Well, I wish Tony were here.
Well, I think,
Because he
I can
knows
tell you
his
right now, I
gravel.
think Tony would go with these guys.
Yeah.
Go a little bit.
I really think he would. I'm
With
just
Rick,
telling you
with-
mine.
yeah, yeah.
Feeling.
Well, that's what because he was the one that suggested that the other bid last year.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So but we can't afford to wait for him, because we have a little more time, because right now, unless I'm miscalculating here, it's 2-2 anyway, so.
Oh, might not be. Rachel, you're persuaded to go the other way.
I just wanna wrap this up.
After we go?
I don't know, you just have to look at taxpayers' money. I mean, people don't have a lot of money, and it's not like it's close at all. And I understand they've been.
I'm looking at taxpayers' dollars on the other end of it too, because if we get in the winter that we had that year, which we are supposed to have, you know, those people were spot on when we needed them. Is bias gonna be spot on when we need them?
Well, it's a sand bid, it's not a bid for
I know
paving roads.
that, I know that, but I'm just saying, you know, what rubs somebody's back might rub yours, you know, I'm just pouring it out there.
I mean, they do, bring the machine in and they let the boys use it, and a lot of times we don't get billed for it.
A lot of times they bring in, they volunteer their equipment and stuff, and I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. And I'm sorry that it is $2,500 more. Because I don't wanna see taxpayers paying more than anybody else. But I do know what they've done. And he was stuck at the bottom of Pearson's Hill for 6 hours. And we can't, you know, if you feel we can't wait for Tony, you might as well, you know, go ahead. If you
So
guys
you're making
I-
a motion that we accept, North Star. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Well, all in favor?
You wanna call Tony?
Yeah, I think
Give him
Tony
a
would
call.
be the decider, because he's
Okay, we have a,
familiar with the gravel, and he was wonderful last year. He was spot on.
Well, I mean, he knows, he has to drive the mail truck, so he knows
Yes.
the mail car, and he knows what's on the road. And
all right.
You're probably watching the meeting, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
Tony, put your TV on.
he's shutting his phone off right now.
I'm surprised he didn't call you.
I am surprised. Something like that. Tell me it's madness.
Yeah.
Tony's dead.
I think it might be wise
It's
for us
Carol
to
Way
wait a
meeting,
couple
we
of
were
years.
looking for you, Tony, because we have,
I mean, a
3
couple
bids for the
days.
sand, and we just needed your opinion, because we have a hung decision here.
Hung jury.
Hung jury,
So, Thank
yes.
you, bye. Yeah, I don't know. You wanna just,
Do
I'd
we
like
wanna
to sleep on
carry-
it.
yeah,
I really
Yeah,
need to
and
sleep
I
on the
think
decision,
Tony will
because
call you
you have
tomorrow.
a very valid point, and I just, sometimes a decision like that is just not, I can't do it spur of the moment. I have to think about it, because you have a valid point, and I need, it depends on how I feel when I wake up in the morning, what's right for my decision. I
And-
don't think you can just make a
Yeah.
spur of the moment
I also,
decision on
I
that.
also
Because this
respect
is the
Tony's.
very first time we've ever got this. It's not like the other two are close at all, so it's really between the low bid that we've never had work for us before, and someone local who's done many things for us.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, we've had bids from Bias before.
we have we ever gone with that?
I don't think so.
See, because I think it went from like 875 to like 1050
Yeah,
one
not a
year. It
lot.
really jumped one
Mhm.
year. And,
I think that had to do with the fact that we had a local pit, and a lot of that material came out of the local pit, and they ran out of the good gravel. So now they have to go from the pit that's further away.
See, Bias really hasn't been here, except maybe probably the last 5 years. They've come in. They have the post office contract, they, you know, they have a little bit,
what did they do at the
More-
post office?
they plow,
Oh,
plow
they do
sand.
well? Oh.
Yeah,
They
and I
did
think
some
they do
work
the
at the
medical
library.
center, you know, they do, so they've come this way, they branched this way more and more. So
Their
it's,
home base is also down near where County Concrete is, right?
it's Jonesboro.
Yeah, isn't that where they are, their base?
So they figure it's probably, you know, to their
Yeah.
benefit to, offer this bid, you know, I mean, they're a big company, so.
They're a good company.
But yes, I'm
Yeah,
not, no,
yeah.
I'm not saying anything,
Yeah.
no, they are a great company, but they've come here more, you know what I'm saying?
Let's give it a couple days and bring Tony in on this.
Okay, so we did have a little special meeting then, or we're just
Yes.
gonna do it, I think we just table it till next time, 'cause you
Uh,
don't
we-
need to know
Yeah,
till for
Yeah.
2 weeks, do we?
Well, that puts us into late
Okay, so you
October.
need, well, then you need to have another
well, I don't think
meeting.
we're gonna, yeah.
So we'll just
I
have to meet
hope the
again.
roads are not gonna be slick
We
and
need
snow
a
driven like
special
that.
select board meeting then to
Yes,
decide
okay.
that after.
I think that's the smartest thing to do.
Okay,
Okay.
so when do you want that? Today, it's Wednesday, it's a holiday weekend, Friday,
You get all
going
the
up
time.
till late Friday?
I'm away till Sunday.
Well, I think we're all,
So, is everybody gonna be around tomorrow?
Nope.
No?
Maybe in the morning.
Part of the
Tony's
day,
still
part
sick.
of
But
But
we
you
know,
know my-
but we
you
know
know my-
her, we
you
know
know my
her
vote
vote
anyway.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it's all right.
well, no, but you want,
We know her vote.
You know my vote. I don't
okay.
have to be here. The only one we
Okay.
don't know is Tony,
Yeah.
so, and I really believe that he'll go with you guys, so, I mean, just to
Okay,
get a
so
hold
you
of
wanna
him.
you wanna have on the record our votes as standing, and then Tony will be the decision
I'm fine
maker?
if you just call him, just get a hold of him, that's fine by me. I honestly believe he's gonna vote with you guys.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any big deal. Call him, you know,
Okey-dokey.
give him another ring in another half hour.
Or he may just arrive.
I doubt it. All right, where are we? Committee policy, we did that.
Good day.
E-waste
Well,
collectible
Jim
and,
Backus is here.
oh, he's here
Yes.
now?
Yes,
Oh, hi.
yes.
Sorry, we're,
Sliding back up to number 2 on the program.
yes, we
Yes.
jumped ahead since we
Yeah, you weren't here, and
We
so we
were
jumped ahead, and,
speeding ahead
um,
until this
so
last one
I've,
glitch
I've
here.
more or less told people before the meeting. Our plan is to go with, Karen Murphy, is that right? Karen Murphy at the school. And I'm listening to Jim in terms of what he would hope to get out of it. And at first, I thought of it as, a huge, undertaking for the school and maybe a little mine sweep or digging around or trying to find it. But in talking with, Green, his name, down at the at the waste treatment plant.
Bruce?
Yeah, he also has some information about this, unfortunate accident, and he seems to have some ideas about it. So my hope and plan is get these papers together, bring them to Karen Murphy, and to set about some kind of unit plan, as we used to say in the education circle.
Well, I did on my own at least an hour's worth of research on the computer. I can't find anything about a Morningstar vessel off the coast of Maine. And I could find a couple of Morningstars in the 1800s, one, but nothing. I haven't found, do you have any information at
Well, I think
all?
the Historical Society did.
So I don't have
Yeah.
anything to go by. I would like to get whatever research you do
Sure.
have, because I haven't found a
I
thing
brought it out last time, but I guess
Yes.
the stuff got
somehow.
misplaced.
People ripped it out of my hand.
Well, you know, if it ended up with all these other papers on this meeting, it's my fault. It's
Here's
probably
what-
filed in a drawer somewhere.
This is the stuff that I found out on my own. I don't know, I can't attest that it's 100% accurate.
Right.
Here's the stuff that we talked about the state statutes.
Okay, now we're talking early 1800s, so that may be even listed. I didn't look under 1700s, because that's really close to.
And I've been told, John Rule has done a lot of research on this, and he's had trouble with it too, because apparently the records on shipwrecks that far back are not there, so.
You're right about that.
And
So,
this is stuff.
what about oral history that you said, or, I imagine if you have people that remember being
I hope
or
not.
seeing the grave?
Oh, I
Well,
remember.
remember seeing the graveyard
The
before.
shipwreck.
I remember. Here's stuff that Jimmy gave me from the teacher, correct?
Yes. Oh,
There's
great.
the inscriptions on the old stones. And here's a couple of letters, one from Bernard Ross, Historical Society, and this gives some information too.
Thank you. Now, do you want me to?
We
make
need copies, we need a few copies
So
of
we'll
this,
get
yes.
copies of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I found on the website, I found Shepherd Door. I found his, family tree.
Really?
Yes,
I-
he has, both of his grandfathers were reverends, and
Just
one of
Rachel.
his great-grandfathers was a reverend.
From
Massachusetts.
From Massachusetts.
And it goes back, and it goes back, and it
Okay.
goes back, it's just amazing what's on there.
You want a
Well,
copy of all this?
he had, 7 siblings.
Put it on 2 sides, double-sided if you want,
I
John.
found some stuff on him, but he was married to a woman, but it didn't show that he had any children.
Okay. Interesting enough, I was going through some archives for Lubec landmarks the other day. And there is a packet of notes from the maritime history of Lubec, Maine. And I'll go back and look at it again because I don't remember seeing Morning Star. But it was the 1800s. I mean, they talked about the 1800s. So that might be able to help us.
Right.
You know, the Lubec Landmarks archives are monstrous. So I don't know how much time I could give that.
The other thing is John Rule has, because this is the 200th anniversary of this incident and these gentlemen dying. And so he wrote, he's written a story for the 40 Tides that will be coming up this Friday.
Wonderful.
So there'll be, so that was my objective, that I wanted, so it would bring it back to life. So at least it'll be documented again that this incident happened.
And do we know anything about any offspring? Are there any children,
No,
children's
I
children?
didn't see anything in the family tree. Jim and I feel that there probably isn't gonna be any way to really do any, recovery of any of the stones or where exactly the stone is. So maybe you wanna speak on that,
Sure.
about what you thought, your thoughts were on that?
Mr. Sutherland and I went down there today and we walked around and I showed him where I remembered the stones to be. Well, I remember one stone. By the time I moved here, the first stone was already missing. Do you remember 2 of them? I know there were 2
I remember
historically.
2, but I was about 10 years old, and it was when the Jacobs house burned across the street, and they buried their German Shepherd down in that area. And that's when I came across the stone, otherwise I never would have seen it. And then, but beside it was a marble stone, but it was broken, but the other one was a slate stone, and it was big, and of course it faced west. So you'd be, if you were down to the sewer treatment and you were looking towards the spark plug, it would be, facing
up here.
towards, it'd be
Yeah.
facing, going towards
Here.
Flatiron Corner,
Yeah,
up that
yeah.
way, yeah. So
I-
that's the location.
I used to live right down there in Brownville and I remember that Leora Ramsdell lived right near this grave site and she used to religiously put flowers on the grave. And I thought that was so nice. And then
Yes.
they got vandalized, I guess, by ATV traffic. But
Oh.
my thinking is, I know there's some question about where the land is
Yeah.
and where the exact spot is. I can find the spot within the area of these chairs, but I couldn't say it's here or it's here. And my thinking is, unless someone wanted to excavate the gravesite, which I wouldn't recommend, and I don't think there might be not much to find anyway after all these years.
Has anybody thought of going on Lubec Memories and asking, because I bet there's pictures of it, I mean, there's, people have pictures
But it
everywhere.
looks different now because of the contour of the road.
But there must be some, like Julie Keane, there's people that really are big on the history of Lubec.
Well, my answer to that is maybe when this article comes out,
Yes.
maybe somebody will come
Yes.
forward.
Who's writing the article?
And we'll
John.
be able to add more light to this situation.
Yeah.
And that's my hope,
Yeah.
because I didn't want it to be forgotten.
Yeah.
My interest, of course, sprang up when they initially were going to start the sewer treatment. And that's when I got a hold of Miss Hobart, because of the fact that I knew that she had done a lot of recording of all of the
Yes.
cemeteries. And if anyone would be interested in that, like anybody out in listening tonight, all of that recording is in the Dennisville Historical Society. That was all given, all of her work was given to the Historical Society in
Yeah.
Dennisville. So if anyone's looking for anything,
Well, she
but
used to teach here.
Well, thank you.
she's right here.
But I suggest we put it on Lubec Community Bulletin Board or the Lubec Memories, because there's people that are really, really interested in,
Right.
I would put, and appeal to them. Does anybody have a picture
But
of
my,
the gravestones?
right, but my thing is the Forty Tides is one of the strongest things that you could ever, really put out there.
Put it out there in
Yeah,
public,
that would
yes.
really put it
The
in.
other
Yeah.
thing, I think with the kids, I think you have to approach it like they'll be history detectives, you know?
Well, that's true too.
Yes, and that they,
No.
and their research would be good.
Well, I'll talk to the
Jim and I
grandparents
and
stuff.
John were speaking about it together, and we decided that probably the only way to do anything, to find anything, maybe not initially find the graves, but to find some of the pieces of the stones that got damaged.
Yes, yes.
And, but what we wanted to do was, we want to erect some kind of, a story, a plaque or something, to let people know this is the location and this
Sure.
is the story,
Sure.
and that's how this all came to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you guys were interested in what would you do going forward on that, right,
Yeah.
Jim? That sound right?
Yeah, that's, yeah, I think when it gets to that point, probably the Historical Society should come in and do the kind of plaque thing, that sort of.
I went to them several years ago with this issue,
Uh-huh.
and at the time, they weren't interested in pursuing it.
Mhm.
And I was told I should go to the select board. And then I went to the town office, and I was told that that's private property, so nothing could be done. So I sort of forgot about it, but
Yeah,
now I got reinterested in it, and I started doing some research on it. What I'd like to see, number one, I guess it needs to be determined who owns the land.
yes,
And seeing as we don't know exactly where the graves are, it's gonna be hard to know who owns the land, but I can't believe that septic treatment plant was put in and that road was constructed without a survey.
well, also if they were, aware of what was there.
And apparently they were from this material that I gave you.
Mhm.
Indicates that they moved the road over so that they wouldn't run over the graves. So they were aware that it was there according to this material.
So they accommodated it.
Yeah,
Well, that's right, have you talked to Mr. Green down at the waste treatment plant? Because he apparently has many newspaper articles about it.
mhm.
And was willing to share it with a student, so.
Well, what I'm feeling is it doesn't really matter if we find the pinpoint location. We know the general area. And
Yeah.
if we could put something up
Something
as a
commemorative,
remembrance,
yes.
that would be really
Yes.
nice, especially with the 200th anniversary.
yeah.
And I
think
realize the easiest thing would be for everybody is just to forget this whole thing, because it's probably gonna cost a little bit of money, and it's gonna require some maintenance for keeping the grounds maintained at least somewhat.
Mhm.
And if it is on private property, they're probably not gonna be thrilled about it.
Well,
But there's state statutes here that say what the responsibilities are and what the law is. And once it's identified as an ancient burial ground, which it
Yeah.
qualifies for, there's an obligation under state statute to act on it. And
yes,
I'm thinking the easiest way to do it would be to put up some sort of a plaque or a stone, whatever the town wants to
that
do.
acknowledges what.
And just do basic maintenance.
Yes.
I mean, it wouldn't take much, I don't know who does the sewage treatment plant grounds there, but it wouldn't take much to just, a couple times a year, just cut the brush back right there. And that would be, I
Yeah.
think it'd be the right thing to do.
And it
Yeah.
wouldn't have to be a stone, it could be just one of those, those boards that have like a plaque on them,
Mhm.
that kind of gives and hopefully someone could write a nice story so people could read it. And then-
We're considering a plaque for the one at Stockford Park. And I think that that's going to go on a concrete mounted thing that
Right.
it
That
would-
would be fine.
Yeah, and that might be what's going on here, because I'm thinking that it's, I don't want the snowplow going down there and knocking it over.
No,
Right,
no,
right.
no,
You
you
know.
could keep it on the grass,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't put it on the edge of the
Yeah, you
road.
have to put it where it's,
You'd
yeah,
have to put it,
Yeah.
and it'd be nice, I just don't want them to be forgotten. That was my objective.
and I agree with you, yes.
And there's
I
only a
always think
few of
students
us,
are the best way to get to that.
yeah, there's only a few of us, I think, that know where the grave location is. And when we're gone, nobody's gonna know a thing about it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the article. I'm anxious to read what John has put together to, you know,
Yes,
to bring that together. And
yes.
you know, I said maybe you could find a picture of Sail Rock, because that's apparently where the ship, you know, had the shipwreck. So
Yes,
it'd be good to know, you know, we get it all together. But I'm anxious to see if anybody out there reads this and comes forward and says, hey, I know more about this,
that's good,
you
yeah.
know.
Hopefully John would say something in the article.
I think he's going to,
Uh-huh,
yeah, I think that was discussed,
yeah,
that he is
Yeah.
going to make sure that, you know, that
Good.
if there's anything that anyone else could add to this, you know, to let us know.
good.
And I'd be more than glad to do whatever I can to help
Me
the
too.
town progress with this, and if money is
Yeah.
an issue,
Yeah,
I'm thinking maybe we could even, the town could do some sort of a fundraiser, the school
Yes.
kids could do a fundraiser,
Sure.
if they're interested in it.
yeah. Well, hopefully this will be directed by the teacher, and I'm gonna give her your numbers, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think I think kids like this kind of thing. And if you make it exciting, it could be great. Yeah. Good,
Thank you, guys.
wonderful.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, thank
Thanks for
you.
the opportunity to,
And we'll let you know as soon as we find something, or you'll
Okay.
hear from the teacher.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
good.
Night.
Night.
Do you add something to that?
No, I was just gonna go on to, part 8 here, e-waste collection will end on Saturday the 29th, so mark your
Yes.
calendars.
Yes.
We've had a successful year.
Yeah.
I talked with Kenny, we've already sent out one truckload, and he's pretty close to a second one.
Good.
It's quite a historical piece of information there as well. If you go by there, we were returning some recycled,
This is Tony.
and there were some TVs of
Vintage
quite depth and proportion, which our daughter
Yeah,
found quite
okay, so
fascinating.
provide
So
this.
there's a
I
historical piece
have a
of
couple
this
of
as well.
them, I'm bringing down, and they're quite large.
Yes,
What are they? Consoles.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's your
Console.
votes here.
Console.
You yourselves on. Tony is voting
Tony.
lowest bidder, provided they are compliant with, they're giving us the same sand. If they're
Yes.
not giving us the same product, he'll go with
Yeah.
North Star. So they have to, you know,
Well,
make
that's the thing
sure.
about Tony, that he can eyeball it and do that stuff. Don't
Right.
think it's,
Oh, you're there. Okay, Carol told us, what your vote was?
Yeah, I just want him to hear it.
nice time to
It's
leave
like I
us,
needed
Lucille.
we discussed the e-waste while you were gone.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have notified the
Yeah,
public.
okay.
You know what, I gotta get some of that junk out of my attic.
Yeah, so any of those
So much
classic
e-waste.
vintage piece of electronics.
You've got a
please.
TV that's kind of like this
Right.
shape.
Right.
Meanwhile, we got a call from the Coast Guard.
Yep.
We had some
No,
overdue kayakers, and they were
everybody
looking
bid on
for,
the same
they were looking
thing,
for the
and,
harbor master, and
So your
Ralph
vote
is
is to go with the
on
lowest
the phone
complaint
with the
bidder.
Coast Guard right now.
Oh,
I didn't
Okay,
remember,
thanks,
I
Tony.
don't know who, I didn't remember, seeing anyone today, neither did he was out. Do you remember seeing anyone?
I
Now, are
did
they
see
from
someone
Lubec?
down there.
Did you see anybody in the,
No,
Where were they
we
kayaking?
don't know anyone, we can't really mention names or anything, other
Right.
than they were just calling.
But do we know where they were kayaking?
I think, on TV, so we need to close the meeting.
Okay.
well, wait a minute, I had a question. If I need to come to the office on Monday, can I?
Carol will be around.
Why do you need to come to the office?
I'm just wanting to know.
Well, it's Columbus Day, you gotta work.
Could we go to number 9, please?
What the heck is number 9?
Town office will be closed October the 10th for Columbus Day.
Thank you very much. Holy smoke.
This is,
Anyone need brain surgery out there? Come here.
No lobotomies.
I think we're all, I wanna thank everybody in the town of Lubec that has been so, helpful with all of the tourists that have been here for the last 5 months. And now we have to get to getting ready for the winter.
I just want to say, at long last, I love going out in my backyard and not hearing a single sound that is unnatural.
All right then, we'll leave it at that. Committee updates?
Okay, the Shellfish Committee, the next meeting will be October 11th at 5.
October 11th at 5, yes.
Okay, Harbor Board, next meeting will be Thursday, October 20th at 6 p.m. Marion Transfer, next meeting will be Tuesday, October 11th at 6. Washington County Emergency Medical Services, next meeting will be Monday, October 24th. Revolving Loan Committee, next meeting will be Thursday, October 6th at 9 a.m. Recycling Committee,
Monday,
Monday, October 10th
4 o'clock.
at 4 p.m. And Economic Development will be
The 13th, right?
Thursday,
That's
October
right.
13th.
And I just, actually, before we, convene, or what is it?
Close.
Close. I wanna make it a little clearer, I wasn't really clear how John is gonna proceed with the roof bid. Is it gonna, we're gonna defer the decision to the harbor board?
Yes.
Yeah, and
And so, but it's not gonna be wait until the 20th,
No.
right? You're gonna make a special harbor board meeting to
Okay.
decide which way you're gonna go with the roof? Because I understand it isn't really supposed to wait till next spring. There's no shingles left on one side. Thank you. I just didn't wanna have to wait, so, do you need a motion for that?
I thought we did that.
Did we make a motion to vote that we can in fact allow the decision to be made by the harbor board? But add
Refer to the
a-
Harbor Board, I don't think we had a motion and a vote.
But do we need that?
I did one.
Okay, I think we need one.
make
And so
motion that
moved.
we defer to the harbor board.
Yes.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Obviously, yeah, I want the harbor board to decide. But at a select meeting, at a special meeting, not like 2 weeks from now. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Anything else? Well, I guess what did you do to the public while I was
Chase
gone?
them away.
Go home.
We chased them away.
I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?